given unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I sware their fathers to give them. Be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night,
that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein.
for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest. That's the 1 through 6 about looking, and that'll be it for today. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. The soul of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. Fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong and of a good courage. Unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. I'm already started mixing verse 7 to verse 6. That's not a good sign. Bible memory is due today. I really want it to be done before lunch. Yeah, it's still on the point. That's crazy. That sounds like fun. Yeah, you guys are all do that. All right. It's Friday. It happened. It came again. And I'm happy about that. All right. So you get a piece of junk mail. And in this piece of junk mail, you get pre-approved. Oh, a credit card. $5,000 cash right now. You just go online and call the number where you get $5,000. Right now, there's only one little catch, and that's when you look down in the fine print underneath, it says it's due back in 12 months at 294% interest. And that is not kidding. I've seen as high as 800%. How much will you owe in a year? How do you figure it out? You have to tell me what you did go, even if you use a calculator. I'm not.
So I went 5,000 times 2.94.
Why do you get 2.94?
To make it less.
Right, so you have to convert the percentage to a decimal. Doink, doink. So now it's 2.94. All right, so how much do you owe in a year?
$14,700.
14,700 what? That even? I didn't do the math. I was looking at junk mail once. Oh, those guys are being nice to you. You get I'll give you $5,000 tomorrow. If I get that back in a year. I'm gonna get 25,000 somewhere, go talk to the bank. They give you $5,000 at 3% interest, and then you have to pay me back 294%. Anyway. Keep a lookout for those monsters. Not that I expect anybody to make $5,000 tomorrow badly enough to commit to something like that, but they make me mad every time I see them. I think, yeah, the one time, I think it was like 803%, and they were gonna give you, so $1,000, I think it was, at 803%, which is actually pretty easy to do the math on. Do you want to do
A lot. Just
Yeah.
basically move the decimal point a few places.
Yes. 1, 2, 3. $8,030. I'm cool with that interest rate too, as long as I don't have to pay it back. Varmints. My hands are cold this morning. All right. Let us check lesson 8. Beginning with commission. A salesperson receives 7% commission on $1,475, and that is $103.25. And you get $2,058.60 on the next one. Number 2, page 30, $2,058.60.
That's number 2.
That's number 2, what you have.
Test?
No. Page 30, I said.
Oh.
All right. Now are you with us? All right, perfect. Number 3 is 91%. And number 4 is $27 per hour. Number 5 is $858.76.
We did that in class.
And I got 75 cents.
75 cents, that's right, we did do that. Yeah. And how about number 6A? We did $12.60. For a total of $312.60. The pretest on page 32. The diameter is 6 feet. And 2, the base is 18 centimeters. 3, the height is 6 meters. 4, the width is 40 yards. 5, angle of angle A is 50 degrees. Angle of angle E is 60 degrees. Yes, sir.
So for number 2 and 4, I do tests. I don't have the same relation with the others.
I agree. Don't let it happen again. So while I understand the importance of having your labels, that wasn't the point of this exercise. There's a time it may cause struggles. Yeah, especially when you're talking inches and feet and things. Do not count those wrong. All right. Say again?
I have one wrong.
6. Well, that's really gonna hurt you today. You have one wrong, it's gonna be a 92. Two wrong, it's going to be an 84. Three wrong is going to be a 76. Four wrong is going to be a 68. I hope you don't have four wrong. Don't make me look like a bad teacher. All right. Now practice set geometry. Let's do a few practice ones, for instance. So we have here a square. What's the formula for a circle? For a cylinder. V equals capital BH is correct. All right, so we know that the area of the base, we already figured that out, is 28.86. And we know that the volume is 57.72.
You go.
How do we work it? Cody, come up here and work your magic with the magic pencil thing. Need coffee, Richard?
Yeah.
Where is it? Bring it in.
Is
It's
it-
sitting
Can
there.
I go get some action?
Not right now. You could have gotten some before.
Can I get some after class?
Save it for recess. I mean, after recess, you know. I brought mine in before. Explain to us what you're doing. And
I'm
then
going 57.7. Is that 72?
yeah.
Divided by 8.88.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot the answer.
Okay, where's my calculator? Never mind, I don't need it. The answer is 2.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
Why did you do that?
because it made the most sense. Well,
So what you did, what you're telling me is you did it in your head. I'm sorry. So what you need to do is you need to go through the right steps, obviously. So basically, we know that V equals that. So we go, basically, we take this formula and we substitute the answers we need. I'm gonna erase all your good work, because I know the answer. So we substitute V for 57.72. Should have given you a calculator, that didn't matter. And then 28.86, you substitute for V, right? 28.86. Then you multiply that times H, and now we have an equation. There's something to figure out. So it's something we can throw some math at. So how do we solve this?
divided by everything, right?
Divided by everything right.
Whatever that is.
Right.
You come out with 2 equals H.
But you know the answer.
Then divided by 28.86.
Right. Divided by 28.86. Because we're multiplying by H over here. So in order to get that by itself, we just go like that. 2 equals H. All right. One more. Perimeter of this thing is the total perimeter is 28. And the height is 8. What do we do? Leah? What do we do? I need to find this width of this thing.
No, E equals 2L plus 2W.
D equals 2L plus 2W.
And write the 28 into,
28,
yeah, for the P.
that's what I did, equals.
And the 2.8 plus 2W.
Okay. I'm actually going to do parentheses in this case because this little dot thing is going to be inconvenient. It means the same thing. All right. Perfect. We set up an equation. How do we work it?
2 times 8, 16.
And
Minus 16 from both sides. 2, 12. 2W. And then put 2W under both of them. 2W. 5 equals 6. 6.
so our width is
6.
6. Good shot. That's actually pretty smooth. All right. Here again. Yes.
One question.
Oh, I have answers.
Yeah, thank you. Did you take all of our pencils?
Is it a steel one? Steel body?
No, it's a green one.
No, I didn't. What if I thought of it? I might have. Number one, you can use a calculator for unless it's on page 35. The rest of them are very seemingly easy and you do not need calculators for them. All right, we're going to talk prime numbers for a second. And go through the system that these people have set up for you wherewith to find prime numbers out of, roughly. You know what a common factor is? What is a common factor?
Is it something that can be divided by a bigger number? I don't know. That's kind of confusing.
Right. So, the way that they find common factors, there's a few, you have to use prime factors to find common factors, right? So what a prime factor is, it's a number that cannot be divided by any other number. So what's some examples of prime factors? Richard?
Alright,
7.
7 is 1.
One.
Nope, 1 doesn't work. You can't divide by 1.
11,
11 is 1. 2, 3. They are prime factors because basically they're so small that you can't divide them by anything but one and themselves. Right? If you divide 2 by 2, you get 1, so that doesn't matter. Right? That's kind of the thing. So we have 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. 9 is not 1. Why not? Why is 9? Right. 9 can be divided by 3, and we get 3. This is how you find prime factors. It's something called
Upside down division.
upside down division or short division. This is how you've been taught to find prime factors. There's another list, but this is actually a pretty decent one. One of the things I struggle the least with. All right, so we're going to find some prime factors and some common factors. And there's a difference. What's the difference?
Why don't we find the prime factors?
Find prime factors and those prime factors. That's what's going on. All right, so we're going to take a number like, say, well, why don't we use this number right here, 200. All right. First things first, what are we going to do?
Divide by 2.
Let's divide by 2. What's 200 divided by 2? 100. What can we divide 100 by? This list over here.
5.
2. Actually, we can do it again. That'll work. What do we get?
50.
50.
Divide by 5.
You can divide by 2 again.
Divide by 2 again.
Divide by 5.
We divide by 5.
10. 2.
10 divided by 2 again, we get 5. All right, so the way we write this out then is 200 has a list of prime factors, 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Perfect.
Do they want us to write it with exponents?
I was going to get there, but you're ahead of me. Why don't we do one other one first? Let's do, for example, 360.
Three,
We divide by 3. What do we get?
1, 2, 0.
120.
Divide by 2. 3 or 2, whatever. I don't know, maybe.
Go to
Yeah, I'll go
Let's go 3 again. That'll be a fun one. We get
4.
40. All right. Now we can divide it by 2. Perfect. And we get
20.
20. And we divide that by 2. And we get. And we divide that by
2.
And we get.
5.
5.
All right. What's the list of prime factors for 360?
2.
2.2.
3, 5.
All right. So how do we find the greatest common factor for 360 and 200?
These are the low.
Right. So you find out which numbers match up here. You go 2, 2, 2. They match up. And 5 matches up. So what we do is we go 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. That's going to be our greatest common factor, the biggest number that both of them can be divided by.
40.
Is it?
40. What do you say?
Alright. So the biggest number that both of those can be divided by is 40. That is your GCF, or greatest common factor. Alright, now exponents, where Leo was headed. So you can write these as exponents rather. So instead of writing 200 with all the 2's and 5's, we can go 2
To the 3rd power.
to the 3rd power times
I just.
5 to the 2nd power. Precisely.
So then how do you multiply those?
Well,
It's like an equation. You do the,
it's,
you
yeah,
find the greatest common, whatever that you get the answer for both of them and times it.
like this. 360.
You know,
I'm gonna have Leah come up here and show you. What do we have?
2 to the 3rd power, and 3 to the 2nd power, and 5 to the 1st power.
Not 5 to the 1st power, it's 5. You don't put first power in there, because any number with an exponent of 1 is. Right. If it has an exponent of 0, though, what is it?
1.
Precisely.
So
Which is like, important.
you go multiply all those.
All right. So, yes, basically using exponents, it's really just the same. Same exact thing. Like basically, we just see here we have 2 to the power of 3. That'll work. And here we have a 5 and a 5. Just forget that you lump them together. You just have 5 and 5. So you basically just have to separate them again to do it. It's not a big deal. The 2 to the 3rd power is the same as 2 times 2 times 2.
Yeah, but what about the 3?
Don't worry about the 3. The 3 is part of the common factor equation.
So the answer would be
Same. You're right. Exactly, because we did division, break it down, do multiplication, get it all put back together. All right, any questions questions, comments, excuses? No
I'm
excuse?
tired.
Coffee. For coffee. So this is liquid sleep. The other option is you can get real sleep, which is healthier for you. Can't help you with it. That's something you're going to have to take upon your own self. Do less.
Is there a certain pot out there that I have to get it from?
I don't know. I know where I get it from. Ladies, algebra. Quick review. -3 minus -7 equals. How do you get to that?
What? You went to minus and equal to.
Two minus signs, so you get a plus. So you get -3 plus 7, I mean. Yeah, putting the answer down there. Equals 4, correct. How about if you have -3 minus 7, what do you get?
10. Negative
-10, why?
2. Equal -3 plus 3.
Right, so you're adding 2 together and then you use the same sign, whatever they call the sign, I can't remember. -10. All right. 1.8. Number 1 is -7. Again? We'll catch up with it.
Yeah,
All right. Number 1 is -7, 2 is 6, 3 is 0, 4 is -14, 5 is 5. Weird. 6 is -2, 7 is -13, 8 is 3, 9 is 7 over 10, 10 is 25 over 8, 11 is 3/8, 12 is 32, 13 is 1
I have
half.
32 over 1.
That, we're half off of that, it needs to be reduced. If it is a 32 over 1, you need to reduce it to lowest terms.
I thought that was.
The question is always, the answer is always reduce, always. And anything over 1 is the number itself.
What was the 11? 38.
11 is 3/8, yes. Is it?
I got it wrong because I was not doing multiplication.
Did you reduce it by?
Yeah, had a 30 though.
All right, 13 is 1/2, 14 is 35 over 27, 15 is 13.7, 16 is 27.763, 17 is 0.274, 18 is 2.03, 19 is 94.971, 20 is 8, 21. Dot should be really super close to the 6, but not quite up to it yet. 22, it should be one line below the 6. 23, -55, 55. 24 is -28 and 128, -128. That's it. 25 is -7 and 7. 26 is 80, 27 is 100. 28 is -170, 29 is 18. 30 is -6, 31 is 24. 32 is 53 over 35.
51.
53 over 35.
I don't know that.
32.
I had 5 days.
No, unfortunately. 33 is 23 over 30. 33 34 is 16 over 45. 35 is 17 to 36. 36 is negative 84. 37. What is the answer?
It's negative and greater.
It must be negative and have greater absolute value than the positive number. 38. Whole numbers 39, integers 40, rational numbers 41, natural numbers 42, irrational numbers 43, integers 44, associative property of addition 45, inverse property of addition 46, identity property of addition 47, commutative property of multiplication property of addition, identity property of multiplication 49, inverse property of multiplication 50 is zero property of multiplication, 51 is associative property of multiplication, 52 is negative 1. 52 is negative 1, 10, 54 is 13, 55 is 31, 56 is negative 13, 7 is 60. 58 is negative 300, 59 is negative 50, 60 is negative 400. Did anybody do the extra practice?
I should have.
It would help you. We are at 60. If you have one wrong, you have 98. 2 is 97. 3 is 95. 4 is 93. 5 is 92. 6 is 90.
5 and a half.
4 is 91. 7 is an 88. 8 is an 87. Catch everybody? Variables, constants, and algebraic expressions. All right, this is not actually, basically, it's just swapping out a variable for a constant, or for a number. So what is a variable, first of all?
A number. Yeah, represents.
So what is the variable in this situation?
4.
Y is the variable, correct? So say for instance, we just take that variable and we substitute it with a number. That would be, so this is what would you call this? 3, or it's a constant. That's how you would categorize it. So you have a variable, you have a constant. I believe that's what we're talking about. Yes. Say for it's basically what a constant is. It's a number whose value never changes, right? 2 is 2, 1 is 1, 0 is 0. They have a value, they never change, right? And even pi, for example, is a constant. This, on the other hand, is a variable. We don't know exactly what number stands for. We can replace it with a constant, and then we can do the math. Or the other thing we do is we actually do the equation to try to find what constant it stands for, right? This case, however, is yeah. That's what they're going to do here. Just is simply find something that stands in for it. So say if you have 4 plus 5 times y minus 30, and then we're just going to say, well, y stands for y equals 6. then basically what you do is you just go 4 plus 5. And then use a different color. No, you don't have to use a different color. You go times 6 minus 3.
And then we just go 4 plus 30 minus 30. So 34 minus 30 and okay.
So you just simplify the expression. This is an expression, not an equation. Why? It doesn't have an equal sign. If it doesn't have an equal sign, it's not an equation. But once you have an equal sign, have something on the other side, that is. This is simply an expression. All right. One other hunk of terminology is coefficient, which is something, basically, algebra is mostly about terminology and only a little bit about actually doing the math right. So if you get your terminology right, there's a decent chance that you'll get your math right. This, for instance, I wrote wrong, and I did it on purpose. If you have 5 times y, it's understood that if there's no sign between them, this stands for multiplication, right? You know that. You've been through this already. However, this number has a special name. It's called a coefficient. The coefficient of y is 5 in this case. And if you have, what's the coefficient of y in that case? 4, precisely. Oh, sorry. Basically, anytime you are arranging coefficients, so like say you have x 14 a z. There's a special order in which they are to be arranged. The order is always number first, and then alphabetical order. That's the correct way to organize your coefficients. Just remember number first. That's all I have.
Okay, I have a question about adding, like that other lesson when I got the adding the fractions wrong.
Yes.
What was the answer?
Where?
It was number 32.
Lesson 8.
Uh-huh.
Number 32.
Mhm.
5 and 3/4 minus 2 and a 6th. 5 and 1/4
It
minus
was
2.
4/5 plus 5/7.
Oh, you're on lesson 7.
No, I don't know something. Number 32.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was on lesson 7. Number 32. 4/5 plus 5/7. All right.
Oh, it's 35.
Yes, it is. How do you come to that conclusion?
Oh, it's the lowest one.
Right. So you get 35 on the bottom,
Uh-huh.
and then you get
And then it's 28.
28 up here. It's 4 times 7. And
25.
25. All right, now what?
And you have 28 plus 25,
28 plus 25 is
53,
53 over
35.
perfect.
That's my answer now?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Is number 27 equal to 30?
27.
I think I got this one wrong.
Okay, 22 plus -4 plus 3.
So it'd be -1, but then when you take it out
Right.
of those things, it makes it positive.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah, so if you, for example, have something like this, the value of this expression is positive what? 1 in this case. Yes,
Okay.
positive 1. And if you have that is going to be 14.
So for number one, here I just write 7 is a constant, n is a variable, and 7 is the coefficient.
Yeah, so 7, yeah, right, 7 is a constant and the coefficient where n is a variable. That's correct. Well, actually, hang on. Double check there, I'm going to try to jinx you on that one. Yes, no, that's right. Yes, ma'am.
Is religion a concrete or abstract?
What do you think it is?
Well, I can think it's abstract, but
Why?
I don't know. It should be both.
Why? What's the definition of a concrete noun?
thing that you can see the church is normally.
5 senses. How about religion? Where does it fall? Yes, sir.
I'm pretty sure I made a mistake in.
How's that?
I'll have to show you.
Okay.
So it says, write spelling word with its own name. So there's aisle. That is the only spelling word that ends like that. There's ones that end like that. There's comical, remedial, and rhetorical. And then they have that, the ending of all those three, and there's one line.
That's interesting. I was gonna tell you tranquil probably was what they meant, but that's on there on 38.
What should I do with it?
Give me a minute. Oh, there's another one.
What?
There's another ILE.
Where?
Second row. Second column, I mean.
Can I have my Bible, please?
What? How did I not notice that?
Yes. It's not an issue.
It should be.
I know it should be, but it is. Pretty sure.
I guess
If you have to keep apologizing for it, just clean it.
I'm gonna.
It's simple. You have two options.
What you did when you found that still doesn't answer the question.
No, it doesn't.
I mean,
They just-
comical gets ruled out.
Yes.
Wait, actually, yeah, I see what they were doing, because comical,
Comical does not end. 36 is obviously not an ICAL. That's just an AL. So they're trying to rule them out going down the list. Here you are, Chris. I normally find these things before school starts so that you don't have to put up with the nonsense. Bruce.
Number 21, negative
31.
Let's see. Okay.
the fraction, and I need to borrow, but when can I borrow?
Yeah, that'll wind up being negative.
Do I just do that, or do I put it in?
You put it in front of the whole thing, yes. Right, yeah, so the whole thing is,
So like if you do negative 1/4, you put it right there. All right, it's time for recess. And looks like we're starting over our list. Start with Elise. Yes, you may.
Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as they said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this Lebanon, even unto the great river, wherever the creeks, all the land of the the sun shall be put. There shall not any man be will stand before thee all the days of their life, as I was with them, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. Be strong, and courageous, unto this people shall thou divide for an inheritance, the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them.
Very good. You say your Bible memory while we're at it? Can you say your Bible memory while we're at it? We don't have to right now. I just thought, well, we're in the neighborhood.
All I use is these.
Yeah, it's a trick.
Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over the Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I have given to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto thee, unto you, as I said unto Moses. From the wilderness and this covenant, even unto the great sea, all the land of the Hittites, and
Even under the great.
even unto the great sea.
Just try to finish it right now. And I just got these.
Go.
There's a few parts that are kind of frustrating, but I got this.
That's all right. You can- But I do want to come before
Oh, it was in
do the rephrase, yes. Might as well
Go for recess now and be back in a few.
What?
So go for recess now and come back.
Yeah.
It'll make more sense.
What was it?
15 minutes.
I just said, can't do that, you know. I don't know even how to do 31.
31. I don't know either, so.
You just have to wake up and answer.
I changed the bottom of it to 36. Well, they both go to 18. That's what I'm doing.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
Nice catch, Greg.
6 times 3 is 18, and 9 times 3 is 18. So it's 18.
It still doesn't work.
Bruce got a negative out of it. So.
I did too, but.
I have to figure that out.
Yeah.
It's exactly right.
You don't know what was that?
Stupid. Algebra?
No. I don't remember.
What did you get, Chrissy?
100.
18.
Is it something to memorize it or what? It's a long time. But it's memorization.
Oh, I remember.
I like it. My brain is like a short-term sponge. So like I can just get vast amounts of information in there and I'm forget it in 5 minutes. No, I actually am more like I'll be positive.
You can bring the copy.
Have a long conversation.
Okay.
Okay, well, ask me what we talked about. I don't know. Well, like no, it's for real. I'll kind of remember some stuff, but like when I say my verse, I usually barely study it. And then just right before I say the verse, I just say it. And then I forget.
I know.
How it starts by the time.
That's right. I can never remember the next day. What was the first one? Oh, it was James.
And even documentary, I don't even know if I can say
My
it.
parents always seem to remember it, but I never do.
By then, your memory has had some amazing thing happen to it.
Not exactly hard, but.
Yeah. Get it, Miss Heather. Okay, well, he's gone. Wonder where he's off to.
I have to get the jacket. You're gonna bet you're right.
Okay.
Can I say what I'm
Yes, you may say your by memory.
Now, after the death, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Now, after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua, the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, Moses, my servant, is dead, now therefore arise, go to destroy him, now and all these people unto the land that I will give to them, even to the children of Israel. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given it to you, as I said to Moses. From the wilderness of this covenant, even unto all the land of the Hittites,
For the wilderness is Lebanon, you were.
all the land of the or is it unto the great river? Unto the great river, all the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea flowing down to the sun shall be your coast. There shall not any man be able to stand before you all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou be life and inheritance in life, which I gave to the fathers, which I said unto the fathers to give them.
Yeah. All right, I don't think this is. Yeah, that's not. thought I had found some kind of a treasure. Apparently I didn't. We go changing the old system once in a while, and throw an old teacher like me off. Ridiculous. This is my third year,
But how many, like, what was the first year you had?
2014. Say again?
So maybe you are on teaching.
Working on it. Maybe old is more just a thing of, not old, and less a thing of, I've been teaching for 17 billion years. All right, let's check lesson 4. And reading. We must be checking lesson 4, and we'll be doing quiz number 1. Mild quiz day today. By the way, quizzes in math for algebra Monday. All right. Number 1, pay something, make up, and lacking. Pay something, make up something that is lacking. 2, deluded is deceived or misled. 3 is delicate beauty, finely done. 4 is inexorable, unable to be stopped or turned aside. 5 is limpid, is clear and transparent or serene. 6 venerate, to regard with great respect or reverence. 7 is three of his occupations is naturalist, artist, and writer. What organization he found is the Boy Scouts of America. 9 is nature. 10, B. 11 is mother led while father followed and protected his family. 12, their wing feathers have been pinioned and not grown back. 13, A. 14, E. 15, C. 16, B. 17, A. 18, D.
How long is it if you get him mixed up or when you get switched?
Jonathan, we switch. Get a third one wrong though, it's counted as 2. At least. 19 is cruised, A. B is brassy, and C is bugling. 20 is sight and sound.
I have paddle for a.
Battle for A? He used a specific word. He used a word, you got to use that one, so cruise is the one you're looking for. 21, sound. 22, what do you have for me?
Palace.
Dallas, so he will tell us what's inside. C.
23, yeah.
Are we supposed to write down whatever you have?
Yes,
What is good for everyone?
good is exactly what they have. Yes, we're supposed to be less specific when we have it.
Is strong okay? Is strong okay?
Yeah, that's fine. 24, what do you have, Chris?
Arrange.
Yeah, range, gather is what they have. But, 25, Richard, we have
Grassy.
grassy, obviously. Yeah. Ear splitting, deafening, all sorts of good options. 26, love. 27, the gander stayed alone, waiting for his mate to probably never come back. There's an example. You have another.
I dreamed a long, long night.
Okay.
I have to wait again for her.
28, what he used 2 words to describe the mother goose, and they are wise and patient. 29, what do you have, Christopher? Can you read it?
It'll make them like take the time, whatever, make the right choices. It'll help them just at least.
Okay. Richard, what do you have?
If a leader has wisdom and patience, you can always get his friend.
Can you give me an example?
Probably, you know,
Yeah, so the wise and patient leader can direct people and motivate them to act wisely, where a person who uses force can make them act a certain way, but you don't always care about them, and it's not always a long-lasting way of doing things either. Usually not. Usually somebody will rebel and then lose. 30 is B, 31 is C, 33 is to place. 34, to suffer and feel. 35 is to trust. And for 33, you should have underlined loc, L-O-C, 34 to be pass, P-A-S-S. And 35, you should have underlined F-I-P. 36, suggest beforehand. To suggest beforehand that events will occur later. 37, intrusion. 38, dislocate. 39, deliberate. 40, serpent. 41, rouse. 42, venerate. 43, expedite. 44, compensate. 45, delusion. 46, accurate. 47, assent. 48, sinister. 49, limited. 50, extra. 51, I've said before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. Questions, comments, struggles? I always feel like, oops. Well, I'll give you literature's quiz, and then literature can be yours.
I have two wrong.
You have two wrong? Yes. I didn't even calculate it. Oh, two wrong. Just 96. 2 points apiece. Yes.
So how much of the verse do you need to know for the quiz?
That was what I was going to check. Well, as much as you did on the last lesson.
It's pretty short.
Yeah.
Actually,
You want to say it again, real quick?
Blessing and cursing, therefore choose life.
I have,
set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life.
Do or not.
they have the reference. You do not need to remember that this time. You might need to remember it next time. Good. Ready?
Yeah.
Sound on. Good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Sorry for this.
I know. I can tell by the way that you are. Remember, keep your name on it. They have a blank for it, you don't even have to remember, but names and dates are important. Dates not, because I have not been procrastinating, but names are. All right. Literature. Do. There's no quizzes. Yes, there is. I have to on my list.
Quiz, but it's lesson 6.
Next lesson?
Yeah, lesson 5 is the lesson.
Well, what kind of tomfoolery are these people up to? The quizzes are always on lesson 5. I guess I just didn't look. I just was like, oh, lesson 5. Quiz. Duh. All right, well then, let's
We have a quiz on lesson 11.
say again.
We have a quiz on lesson 11.
Lesson 6 and 11. I should have words with a former teacher. Ridiculous. Throwing teachers off ever since they started. It is an interesting thing to think about. I don't have any students who are currently teaching, but definitely an interesting thing to keep in the back of your head as a teacher. English 1, that's not gonna help us.
But I have it. All right, lesson 4. One is who is complimented and condemned. 3 is he wanted to see them know Christ and the value of salvation. He wanted to see conviction for sin and heart set on fire to save Christ. Is that supposed to be exact wordage? 4a, help to anyone. B, sense to the people. C, faintness. D, blasphemy. E, blank. 5, he was able to see the evil of his own heart. 6a, the ignorant and malicious loaded him with slanderous reproaches. B, he could only say that God had been innocent and prayed for his accusers. 7, what do you have? Lisa?
Yes, so he is strong and knows he can.
Okay.
Yes, if they're honest about their struggles, they can tell others about what helped them and what hindered them.
It may help them to overcome his struggle by talking about it and avoid getting attention to others with the same.
Yeah, so there are two struggles that I have with leaders who talk about their struggles. And I thought about them after our lesson yesterday. One of them is I struggle with leaders who have the same struggle for years and years and years and years, and never seem to find it. I believe that God is the spirit of power, not of defeat. And the other one is the hypocrisy angle we've talked about. It says here that a leader should acknowledge his struggles, but teach truth without compromise, even in those areas. Not sure I really get the wording here either, but that's what they have. What about for 8?
Make sure it's true before you pass it on to him. And is there Francis Gray talking about people and there is true?
I'm hearing
Yeah.
you. And they need to stop it. If they have an issue with the leader, quietly and meekly go talk to the leader about what's bothering them.
Great. Here's my problem with this. I'll just go. Here's my problem with this lesson in general, is that I feel to a certain extent like it's holding leaders up above other men. And that is a view that is dangerous for us as Christians. As Christians, a leader is a man. He is only a man. He is fallible. He can fail. He will fail. You can count on him. The question is how the power of God is working in his life. And whether he's a man who wants to follow God or not. Just because a man is a leader doesn't mean that you need to obey without question. When you get to that point, you have ceased to think. And that is much, much more dangerous than questioning. It is not more comfortable than questioning. Getting to a place of not questioning what your leaders do and what those with authority do is comfortable, but it is not. It's not good for your brain. You need to go directly to the source of truth every time. Now, as far as whether somebody's at fault or not, yes. Gossiping, no. But they're a man.
You can't spread evil reports about anybody.
Exactly. Right. So when it singles out leaders here, that's why I'm concerned about how they're saying this, is because you shouldn't spread evil reports. But anyway, everybody's equal. It doesn't matter what position they hold. An evil report is an evil report, whether it's about somebody in third grade or whether it's about the bishop of the church. Evil is evil. Figure it out. Go directly to the source. Number 9. He had been taught that only the Catholic Church could interpret the scripture infallibly. 10. Transubstantiation is the teaching that the bread and the wine of communion actually become the body and blood of Christ. 11. He was first convicted of breaking the Sabbath, and it lasted only until he had dinner. 12. There's 2 options here. It needs to be one of these, I think. Say something else interesting. Being justified freely by grace through the redemption that is in Christ Jesus, Romans 3:24. Oh, death, where is thy sting? Oh, grave, where is thy victory? In 1 Corinthians 15:5. And not no works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he saved us. Titus 2:5. Yeah, one of those is fine. 13 is wall, 14 is narrowness of the door, 15 is mountain, 16 is door, 17 second illness, 18 Lord's Supper, 19 first illness, 20 is B and C. And what do you have going on? Yes.
For 9, I had it was lacking in religious education. Got wrong. 16, yeah.
Number 9, you see you have that he was lacking in his religious.
It was lacking in religious education.
I feel like that's partially correct. They will want the answer for 9 that he was taught that only the priests will. Don't mark it wrong. Yes.
Well, if I could,
Only the priests, only the Catholic Church can interpret the scripture infallibly or correctly. All right, we have another question? We're good? Perfect. What is lesson 5? Anything interesting? It's,
Learning what? 15. Well, I don't know what this means.
13. Middle Simon is troubled by dissension.
5? Was it 5? I don't know what's in here. When did it get it? It's 5. It's weird. I know, there's 3.
There's 3 of them there. Yeah, fear, pride, and discouragement are the correct answers.
Really?
Yes,
But
for 15.
So that you
For 13 is dissension. Dissension is like disunity or like fighting.
I thought it said that when you brings 5 issues.
Well, yeah, he said, he put something about
Because he knew how to
see the evil in his own heart. I heard that.
How's it going? You're on YouTube. Yeah.
Can you edit those videos?
Say again?
Can you edit those videos?
Yes.
How long are they?
They're running, first half of this day, running right around 3 hours. But I try to chop it up and put chapters in so you can go directly to what you need. If you desire. I try to chop the ends off, try to chop some of the fluff off. Have been completely successful in these areas. All right, any other questions on lesson 5? Good deal. Take 2 or 5 minutes. Oh, I'm gonna finish your quiz first. Don't worry about 5 minutes.
Thank you. And by Tuesday, by the way, for literature, you need to be done with your interview. You are done. You said you wouldn't be done. You said you wouldn't be done.
Why did it last night?
Tuesday or next Tuesday?
Huh?
Were you meeting by this Tuesday, last Tuesday? or next
I was hoping for this Tuesday because I like to have the buffer, but we had somebody over here who was a straggler.
But she got it done.
Good, perfect.
Would you guys write it down on the note? It's all written down.
It's all written down, just not in the notebook. Perfect. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Take 5 minutes and
Because I had all my questions on the piece of paper. Then I take the time and I was in the middle of making chili soup again.
That you didn't burn.
I did burn that.
burned chili soup is one of the worst things.
I burned a pack of frozen hamburgers.
You burned a pack, it was frozen and you burned it. That's like the worst of both worlds. You can't eat any of it. It's either frozen or burned.
And why it got burned is I
So I have
very.
in language, I have a word I had through, I have to do a quiz.
Yes.
What should I do? Set them up, everything else I do.
Yep.
I'm not getting everything except for language.
Okay.
Bible, I got my quiz done. Reading, I got the lesson done. And, yeah, no. And what's the other one? Bible, history, working in history, it's just language.
How's it going?
Give this message.
And I get to skip
That's more
course.
adjective clause.
Yes. I get to skip course is a good thing.
No.
That's actually fun.
You know, we did that little thing where we were talking about whether I should use this thing, so.
You should have. That would have been about right.
When the pack of hamburger burns, Mommy told me to put a cup of water in the bottom of the pan.
And you
The
did.
lid on it, so I did. And I told Mary, watch it, because I wanted to go play on my violin. And she said, no, she's experimenting on the cat. And so I just left it.
She's
Figured
doing
she
what?
was doing an experiment on the cat. We don't know what she's doing. With ribbon or something. And next thing we know, the kitchen is smoky. And they're yelling at me. And I said, it's not my fault. I told Mary to watch it, and she didn't. But that's the only thing I ever burned.
Really? That's,
Your whole entire life?
I can burn water.
I can burn water.
Mary made soup. She made us ramen noodles. She put the carrots in the last after she put the noodles in. I turned to a gel. Mom made us prepare.
Put the carrots in first.
I know, it turned to a gel itself.
In what?
Ramen noodles. That's it.
Carrots and onions. That sounds weird.
And celery.
I've never done that in my life. Noodles are just the best.
I know. That's what we do in Mom's house.
We might have to have a conversation about that.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe you can do other things like that school. Pet and Menace is fine.
We had fish wrappers here last year.
They're different than Pet and Menace.
It's
That is awesome.
Pet and Menace. Here's the deal. I'm not opposed to Pet and Menace.
Yeah.
I enjoy Pet and Menace. School probably isn't.
Honestly,
Honestly, it's the right place for it.
If we're reading a pattern, then it's book in the home, you can read it here. And then
No. That would be a no. Read it at home. I do enjoy Pat Minutes. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
It's just slowly correctly. Pardon me, I just erase that. It's too inconvenient. Nope, that's not good either. They're all gerunds. You don't know about gerunds. All right, 8th grade. Get the things, put the books where they belong. Subject of the first sentence, Richard. Rabbit. Rabbit. No, where something's hiding, it doesn't do it any good. All right, so what is the verb, Chris?
that's hiding.
Was hiding, yes, very good. What is was? Helping verb, what is it doing?
It's helping me.
It's helping verb, yes. All right, so there's your helping verb. What else do we have, Leah, in the first sentence?
Prepositional phrase,
Where?
under the word.
Under the wood pile. What is it? What kind of prepositional phrase is it? Right? We not about this? Yes, we can. What is it doing?
Saying where we have it,
It's answering a question. It's answering a question.
where.
Where? Therefore, it is
Adverb
an
phrase.
adverb phrase. That's right. It is a phrase, a whole entire phrase working as an adverb. Going back to which word?
Was hiding.
Yes. All right. Good. What is the? The does.
Which one?
The word the.
Oh, that's okay.
An adjective, but it's also an. They have a special word for it.
Article.
Yes. It's an article. What are the 3 articles?
A and.
A and the. All right. Second sentence. Leah, subject.
Force.
Cody, verb.
Kick.
I spell it on my penmanship. It is atrocious. All right. A giving home barn door. What else do we have? Direct object. Where?
Hole.
Okay. D-O. Oopsie. What do you guys do? Okay, moving on. Keep getting the classes mixed up because they're running so close together. Christopher, what else do we have?
In the barn is, in the barn door is a prepositional phrase.
Yes. Describing?
Hole.
Yes. So it is a.
And, adjective phrase.
Right. What question does it answer?
Which one will come from in whose?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
No, actually, it doesn't describe the whole. It is what kind is.
Kick.
You just go. Say what?
It's kick in the door.
Right. I was wrong. It is actually
That doesn't even make sense.
kick. It describes
It answers the question where. Oh, where to extent, so it's an adverb phrase. It's my bad, I was wrong there for a second. That'll be right again. Gaping is something that the English class can deal with. Maybe actually, here's what is gaping?
German.
Participle, yes. It is a verb used as an adjective. So what is an adjective describing?
Well,
Answering the question,
what kind?
what kind of hole? Gaping hole. Precisely. Very good. All right, let us begin with what's a preposition?
Or pronoun with another word in a sentence.
Yes. Also, it is, yes.
Could you check 1 through 6 in class?
Say
I
what?
meant not in class, could you check 1 through 6 by yourself?
No.
It looks like you didn't have to check yourself.
Well, too bad. What else is a preposition? How do you identify a preposition in a sentence?
It's anything, well,
Anything that something can do. I don't know.
Richard?
It's a word that connects some noun with someone else.
Well,
Another
good job
word.
of reading the definition. How do you find one in a sentence?
What?
How do you find one in a sentence?
Look for the phrase.
You look for a phrase. What does it always start with?
preposition.
Preposition. Not all phrases start with prepositions. It is anywhere a rat can go, or a squirrel, or wherever. If you'd say something like that, that'd be different. So is that, yeah. So something like past the barn door, or through, between. There are some compound prepositions which we didn't really cover yesterday. Things like according to. So like if you said according to the news this morning, according to is a preposition. Regardless of how many times Christopher asks for me to check this in class, won't. Doesn't matter. So, I mean, you can check it yourself. Regardless of how many times, yeah. Regardless of how many. I'm right. Often. I'm right. All right. Let us go through this. First prepositional phrase is near the center. Near is underlined in the center circle. Of the wildlife refuge is next one. Of is underlined, the refuge is circled. Of young alder trees. Of is underlined, trees is circled. On a hillside. On is underlined, hillside is circled. Above a beaver pond. Above is underlined, pond is circled. Number 2, with you is a phrase with is underlined, you circled at Taco Bell. Ugh. That is underlined, Taco Bell is circled. Instead of is the whole preposition. Not just instead, but it's instead of is underlined and Burger King is circled. Number 3, because of road construction and repair, the whole word for repair. Because of is underlined, and construction and repair is circled. Out of our way, out of is underlined, and way is circled.
I just had out, out underline.
Just continue to underline out of. Out of. 4, into the street. Into is underlined, the street is circled. Under a parked car. Under is underlined, car is circled. 5, into the whirling snow. Into is underlined, snow is circled. With her mitten hand, with is underlined, hand is circled. 4 better look, 4 is underlined, mitt is circled. Number 6, of our newly planted trees. Of is underlined, the trees is circled. Except for the 1, except for is underlined, and 1 is circled. There again, underline it more if you need to. And by the goldfish pond, by is underlined on the circle.
If we just our footprint. Just for. If we just footprints. Add it.
Now we're getting into tricky business. Well, I'll give you grace on the other one. It's a third point.
Okay.
7, adverb. 8, preposition. 9, preposition. What's the difference? What's the difference between the adverb and the preposition?
The preposition comes in a phrase and the adverb shouldn't. Well, it can, but it usually comes, you can tell when it's different if it comes at the
Right.
end of a.
Yeah, so if it comes at the end of a phrase, it's almost certainly an adverb, because you're not supposed to, preposition is not word you're supposed to end sentences with. As we said before, it's getting old, it's running, using the joke enough, but it's fairly standard. Right, so yeah, through the doorway is one. And also over answers the question all by itself. Well, I suppose it was through. And sign. All right, 10. What do you have, Cody?
Daggle.
Say again?
Daggle.
Well, that's a good one. I like that one. Leo, what do you have for 11?
America.
America. 12. What do you have? Kristen?
Cow.
Cow. Enough. We have, this is 15.
Bulletin board.
Say again?
Bulletin board.
Bulletin board. That works. And what do you have, Cody, for 14?
Water.
Water. Is it concrete or is it water? Well, it's concrete. Yes?
Fury.
Fury. Abstract. Good.
For 14, I put concrete.
That's a good one. It works. 16. Edison's is underlined. Very is circled. Useful and everyday is underlined. 17. Ambitious is underlined and determined is underlined. Over is circled. 1,000 is underlined. And is. 18. Eventually is circled. Worldwide is circled. 19. Predicate nominative. Circle is editor, printer, publisher, and newsboy.
I didn't write it in the blank, but I put predicate nominative over the.
Above it? Okay. And Thomas Edison is underlined once, was is underlined twice. 20. Will and read are underlined. Us is in parentheses, account is circled. 21. Took is underlined, years is circled, cost is underlined, thousands is circled. 22. Needed is underlined, cash is circled, planted is underlined, sold is underlined, vegetables is circled. 23. True. 24. Linking. 25. Action. 26. And record was. Make sure the line is angled. Friend. Edison's good. This here earned money, direct object. Him is an indirect object. And 4 chemicals. Anybody have a bright idea on 27? Yeah.
Edison is the subject.
Edison is a subject.
11-year-old is the.
This one is scary.
11-year-old is an adjective.
My understanding school is and then it like closes off, it's not. Yeah, it closes off.
Yes.
Yes.
So it does this and then it does this.
Yeah.
Yes. That's correct.
I'm gonna write this.
Yes. Good job.
I got it wrong.
You thought about getting wrong, which is pretty much the same thing. 30 is picturesque, 31 is feminine, 32 is succulent, 33 is grotesque, 34 is candidly, 35 is buoyant, 36 remedial, 37 rotund, 38 agile.
I just love my word.
It's a good word. There's some words that are just, they're just good. It's the way it is. Even verbose, which is next, is not too bad. You know what that is? You like verbose? It's kind of, it's kind of,
listening to people.
Is it like a flower?
listening to people who are verbose gets old.
Flowery?
Although I stand here and talk all
I
day.
tend to judge a word by its meaning.
No, that way. So what about rotund?
Rotund
If
is.
somebody called you rotund, you'd be offended.
Yeah, rotund by just, yeah, meaning is fat and chunky.
It's kind of a fun word to say.
Rotund.
40 is morose, 41 is masculine, 42 is comical, 43 is tranquil, 44 is rancid, 45 is rancid crabtree, 45 vigilant, 46 impetuous, 47 docile, 48 rhetorical, and 49 contemptuous. Questions, comments, troubles?
Yeah, what's number 47?
47 docile, my bad, did I skip that one?
No, but I just got it. So is it 2 wrong, 2 switch?
Yeah, that's case. You'll be okay. Okay, so 49, 50, 51, 54, 17. Oh. I'm gonna just call it 75. Because I'm feeling pretty lazy. Not counting all those little pips and squiggles.
I got 8 and 1/3 wrong.
Oh, they did.
I got 7 and 1. Actually 6 and 1/3.
So what?
I got
6 and a third?
Yeah.
I got
All right, call it 92.
I got 6 wrong.
92.
And
10 and a half. You have, call it 86. All right, adjective phrases. We already talked about them. Basically, what happens is you get a prepositional phrase, and it is used as something, obviously, and it's either used as an adjective or an adverb, generally speaking. Actually, all prepositional phrases are either adjectives or adverbs. And they can modify other nouns and other prepositional phrases. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through a few of these. And I'm just going to do them in class just for the fun of it. Number 1, for example, give me a pair of prepositional phrases.
With the largest population in the world.
Right. With the largest population is one, and the world is the other. What does with the largest population modify?
Country.
Country, correct, so it's being used in that. What about in the world, where does it modify?
What's the
Population.
largest population?
It actually just modifies population. Area of population. And we'll do number 2, and then you do number 3 on your own. What's number 2? Yeah,
of the burning candle, and the air goes to sing.
arrow goes to send. Yeah, so basically, all they're talking about, the only reason this is important is during diagramming. You have to make sure that your prepositional phrase goes under the correct word. You're going to have to stack prepositional phrases. So say, well, let's go here. What's the largest population in the world? We have, so what's the largest population is describing the country, which is over here. With population, the largest, and then you go in world, in the world. You just, yes.
I just, well, I remember I had like 3 of them.
Yeah, you'll get that. I think I've seen 3 before. I don't think I've really seen more than that. If you get more than that, people start thinking you're verbose.
When you say the word verbose, usually people will wonder.
Usually people wonder if you actually use the verbose. That's right. That's the thing about language. All right, let's go to number 6. And here we're going to talk about adverb phrases. I don't actually see any adjective phrases in here, so that's not going to be a confusion for you. But it's possible sometime you might. So let's just do number 6 real quick, Kristen. Give me the first 2 prepositional phrases.
In September,
And
across the Atlantic.
across the Atlantic. What words do those modify?
Doesn't it in September 16? They both modify to sail.
They both modify sail, yes. Cody, next 2.
From England, and in America.
Yes. Which word does from England modify?
Sail.
It does modify sail, yes. What about in America?
Correct.
All right, Richard, there's one more.
About 2 weeks later.
About 2 months later, and that modifies, all right.
You're supposed to draw that arrow.
Under E.
They draw it like this.
Oh, cool,
Yeah, you don't have to go above. Make sure it goes to the right sentence. Truth of the matter, to the right word. Truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you actually go through the writing. It's just more inconvenient to read. All right, Leah, you do the next sentence.
Of this traffic and noise.
Of this traffic and noise is the phrase. I'm sure you get both of those subjects in there, but
Tired.
tired. Very good. How do you tell different, or how do you tell what, whether it's an adjective or an adverb phrase?
Describe.
The word modifies. And
What questions is?
which questions it answers. That's the easy one.
Huh? What's the easy one?
Which questions it answers. All right. We'll do the English class real quick, and then I want you guys to do some, some words. 7th grade doesn't really have an action move at all. So keep that in mind.
Is there history there?
History is going to go clean through to art.
Do you have to do?
Art and history is one chunk.
So we're going
So do we have to do it?
work, and then we're
You
gonna
do not have to do
have.
any work in history. You're going over to Mr. Walter's room for history, and Mr. Walter will take care of it, but you have one afternoon. Your afternoon is used up over there. So you have approximately a half hour in your day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's talk about semicolons. When do you use a semicolon? Yeah, you're already using commas. If you need something else to add a break, then you whip out the semicolons. And when you use a comma, when you need a comma, it can be a little tricky. What are some good rules to go by? Christy, do you have any?
Yeah, don't put, like, you put them in a list of adjectives, but if the adjectives describe color, size, or number, then you don't use them.
I think, hang on a little bit before I confuse anybody.
Just use commas, being two or more adjectives that describe the same noun, unless one of the adjectives describes color.
Right, so the slow lazy Greek, right? Yes, but big, yeah, color size of big red. Okay, yep, you're right. All right, we did quantity of these in class. Which one is, where did we end?
Well, we did all,
We did all of them?
writing the sentence.
Oh, all right. What do you have for a sentence that includes commas separated single word series?
Here's the sentence, and we have to follow.
What do you have for number 14?
The mouse ran under the side, variable and Billy's trap. Change.
Good. I like it. What do you have for number 15?
The dog's friends are Harry, a baker, Thomas, and Pitts, and Harold,
Good. I like that. All right. I've just been refusing to write the answers in that book simply because I tore the tests and quizzes out of it. And the one-time use from now on. So we'll just throw that out when we get to the end. All right, so 16. F. 18 is H, 18 is B, 19 is C, 20 D, 21 A, 22 D, 23 G. Say again? Which ones?
16 and 17.
Twenty-four, adjective. 25, noun. 26, pronoun. 27, noun. 28, adjective. 29, noun. 30, adjective. 31, preposition. 30, noun. 33, conjunction. 34, noun. 35, pronoun. 36, adjective. 37, preposition. 38, of the song is your prepositional phrase, goes to words. 39, of the book, goes to title, and on display goes to book. 40, from the top goes to view, of the mountain goes to top, of the climb goes to effort. 41. Ooh.
If we miss the parentheses and the arrow, is that too wrong?
That's one wrong. It's half wrong for arrow, half wrong for parentheses. Ooh, boy, I forgot about those silly things. Why is it that way? Okay, no, I understand why it's that way. Okay, yep, So, well, good on them for writing out your diagram, huh? Spring and season goes here. My favorite goes underneath. Why would we do that? It's in a positive. Yes. What's our subject? Oh, what's our verb? Is, goes there.
Full.
Full. Then we have of. And then we have durance. Grinning with delight. What's our subject, first of all? Gene is our subject. And then verb? Show. So what goes on this scenario and how does it go here? You come up to show me out? That Germans. I keep seeing Germans and I just, I don't know what I have with Germans. Yes, please. All right, what What is delight? With delight?
Prepositional phrase.
Right. What kind of preposition phrase? Wheel.
Adverb.
That would be an adverb phrase. That's great. Participle. So that is a verb used as an adjective. Adjectives do not describe adjectives. Adverbs can describe adjectives.
Adjectives can't describe anything.
Again. He's answering your question how.
I think we can.
He's answering your question how. It's gotta be an adverb. Showed what's going on with, word class.
It's like on a prepositional line, except it's on the
Yeah.
bottom because it's an indirect object.
Back. And his new driver's license is the
Direct object.
correct. 360. Alright, I'm going to skip over 15, 14, 15. I'm not going to assume you have them right, but I'm not going to assume you have them wrong either. We go directly to 16. Judas.
Is that everything? Yeah. We're ready for 42. Lost in second.
You were giving us answers.
I jumped a whole entire, okay, I thought, what, this lesson isn't done yet? That's why I was jumping. Okay, never mind, 43 then, we will do right now. All right, what's the subject?
Sister.
Sister, what's Mary Ann's?
Adjective.
Yes.
And younger.
And then also an adjective, so we have sister, Mary Ann's younger sister, what's the verb?
That's have.
As
Box.
box,
A box and a.
a box, and then of seashells is a preposition. Good. Lesson 8, adjective clauses. Adjective clauses, you guys wonder about adjective clauses work, right? Good. And I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Basically, they modify noun or pronoun. What's the relative pronoun? Can you say a louder for me? Right. And an adjective clause starts with a relative pronoun. Normally, I mean, very often, there's commas around them. Oh. Sometimes functions as a direct object of the clause, sometimes some functions as the object of a preposition. And whose functions as an adjective. Sheesh. Way to confuse things. Let's do number 1 together. Where is our adjective clause?
That required them to pay tax donkey.
That required them. Yes.
Does it go away to keep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll hold it here. What is the relative pronoun?
That.
And how does it function?
Direct object.
No. It can't be. Subject.
Subject, yes. Yep.
Is there only one direct object in the whole part?
Yes. Number 2, what is our phrase?
Which?
Which the Civil War? Civil War. Civil War. Good mom. All right. And our relative pronoun is, I think it's used as a subject. 3.
Who's so adjective?
You still fly across that line of being famous, so that's the whole thing. Whose and is used as an adjective. You're correct.
The next one's that. Where's the direct object?
4? No, oh, yes, it is object preposition.
I mean, 5 is the direct object.
5 is a direct, chooses an object preposition. To whom? To whom is a prepositional phrase, so to whom, object preposition. I owe my God the heritage. And then, yes, the meal that George was not available, that is a direct object. And our phrase is from that to available. No,
No, it's not. Actual order.
that Joel ordered, my bad.
Yeah, because we
I was like, well, then there's no verb. Yes. 6. What is our phrase? From who to God? And
Who's the direct object?
is a what?
No,
Who's the other pronoun and used as a
adjective of. And subject.
subject? I must be winning something. Probably not. Probably somebody wants to pay more money. All right, and you're pretty good there. We're just gonna keep moving diagram sentences. Yes.
Is unfaithful the indirect object?
15?
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about 14?
Yeah.
Because I got that one done.
I'm stuck on that.
And that's the direct object.
Okay, so we'll just do this when we're in class. Ah! Come back here. Slippery little thing. What's our sentence?
Some, you know that Joel ordered was not available.
Okay. Subject?
Joel. Meal.
Meal is the subject.
Was available.
Was available.
Slash available, right?
Ooh,
It is.
that makes sense,
Okay.
because it's describing the meal. Was
And
it-
not, it's under was.
Right? All right, so now we have that Joel ordered.
Is another sentence. Draw another sentence.
Yes.
Is there from meal to that?
You for that.
Is that what you have?
What's that? I got it.
Joel ordered
Ordered that. Direct object.
that. It is a direct object. This is where I fell off in English. I was like, well. These things always confuse. All right, so where does it go to?
Meal to that.
From meal to that, yes.
So ordered meal. That is not available.
Exactly. All right, we will also do 15, but I will let you do 13
By yourself?
ourselves, because that's the hardest one.
Yeah.
Thankfully, they write the lines for you. All right. Julius Caesar was who had an unfaithful friend? Was stabbed to death. All right, so what's our subject?
Julius Caesar
We're gonna call him JC.
was stabbed.
I don't want to talk to you in Tennessee. Julius Caesar was stabbed. Don't think that way. Oh, I did listen to from Tennessee. Still doubt that they were calling me. All right. What's to death? Precisely. To death. All right. Now what?
I have another sentence line.
Another sentence line thingy underneath.
Who had direct object friend.
Who had friends?
And then unfaithful to indirect object.
Right here.
Isn't it unfaithful?
It's describing friends, so it makes sense. Yes. Unfaithful.
Wait. That's
right.
not how you do it.
That's not how you do indirect objects.
Oh,
No, unfaithful. Yeah, I didn't think so.
what? It is.
It is.
It is.
It's describing friends.
It is describing.
Unfaithful friends. So it's not an indirect object.
No, friends is not indirect object.
No, unfaithful.
Unfaithful is also not an indirect object. Yes. My bad. I was mishearing you. I was hearing what my answer you told me. This is correct. Unfaithful is describing friends. Where does the line go between the dotted line?
Julius and Phil.
It
Julian, will this either end? Precisely. Are we good? Happy?
No, yeah.
Say again.
31.
31? Whew, doggies. How are you all doing on the rest of your work today?
No, it's not a lot in algebra. And so.
And are we doing extra practice in algebra?
I'm at number 18.
Well, I thought 18, I'm ready for 21 in this one. But was,
Yeah, there's a lot of other sentences to write today. I will let you off out of the hardness of my heart. You know that. That's the whole composition. Unless, of course, you're,
What is, positive for adjective?
a positive adjective. Where?
Brilliant, famous, oh, we always get S.
those are the ones. I look back.
Where are we at?
Yeah, a brilliant and famous for the positive adjective.
Aha,
Brilliant and famous are
Positive adjective.
positive adjective.
Because,
right.
but is there any participles in that first sentence?
Well, are there?
I don't have any. But I have some other adjectives.
There's one total participle in the whole entire
And that's lasting.
possible.
So like that, other than all the other adjectives, so like. Those are other adjectives.
Yeah, there's other adjectives. Like, make sure you look inside the actual song titles. For adjectives.
Yeah, I got a few out of there.
Okay.
I got 2, 3 out of them. 4, 5.
Anything else?
27, I don't know what an adjective phrase is.
An adjective phrase.
Is that,
That's a prepositional phrase uses an adjective. So just write a prepositional phrase, starts with the preposition. Describes things before it.